Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is just going to be you and me, Wyatt's sleeping, so it's going to be nice and quiet. Today I wanted to talk about signs you are a frugalista or frugalist if you're a male. So I have 20 tips. You may want to grab a cool beverage and sit back and relax. I'm quite excited for this video. So let's get started. The first thing is that your Tupperware drawer or cupboard is full of reused sour cream, margarine, yogurt, or any other disposable container that you use for instead of Tupperware or any kind of containers that you have to pay money for. This is one I definitely need to clean out because it's starting to I can't close my cupboard quite right. So the second one is your freezer is full of reduced product, preserved food from your garden, and homemade goods. Next one is you have a wide variety of repurposed jars somewhere in your home. Mine are above the fridge. And next one, you have a bag or a box full of cut up rags from old towels, sheets, clothes, or etc., which are used instead of paper towels, cleaning those ones that you have to buy, and instead of tissue as well, because we use rags to blow our nose as well. So yeah, rags are a wonderful way to save a lot of money on paper products. The next is your closet is full of old clothing that you've had for years and years. I know I have some clothing over a decade. I did have some almost like 2 decades, but I got rid of it. Sometimes I regret it, but so my closet is quite full. Anyways, or consists of hand-me-downs, secondhand, and clearance items. Next one is you have fruit that most people would have thrown out or never bought in the first place, cut up and in your freezer, ready for smoothies or baking. The next, you hang dry clothing most of the time. Here, when it's -40 below, you don't really want to fold or hang your laundry out. And the next is you always check your receipts, your statements and invoices, etc., anything like that, as well as your bank accounts. So yes, always checking. The next one is when you find something you need. That is the important part of this, that something you need and that you have been looking for at a steal of a deal, or you're given it for free, you get really excited and it literally just makes your whole day. The next thing is watching your savings grow is more thrilling than buying the next hottest gadget or gizmo or anything like that. Because honestly, when I look into my account and I see that I have more money than, more or less space in my house, that makes me happy. The next thing is finding new ways to save gets you pumped up. The next thing is going to the library or getting free ebooks online instead of buying new books. Does anybody buy new books anymore? I don't know. It's been a while. The next thing is you love watching free videos on YouTube, obviously about frugal living. The next one is you'd rather read a book on frugal living than the hottest new novel out there. And obviously for free from the library, or you got it really cheap used somewhere, of course. And the next, you always search for used before buying new. And the next one, you are not afraid to ask. I'm going to give you 2 examples of this. The first one is I had to get my car fixed. So when I went to go pay, I brought cash and asked if I could pay cash, would I get a discount? And lo and behold, he said yes. I think I saved over $50. I can't remember exactly. This was a little while ago, earlier this year. But anyways, I saved, money, but just by paying cash and just by asking. If I hadn't had asked, I never would have saved that money. And the next thing is my mom was at a grocery store and she saw that they were throwing out broccoli because I guess it had gotten frozen somehow on the display shelf, and they were just gonna throw it out. So she asked if she could have some, and the worker had to go and ask the manager, and the manager said yes. And they asked her how much she wanted, and she said she didn't want to be greedy, so she only took a bit, but enough for like a few meals, and also enough to freeze for later on. And she also brought some out here to cook for us as well. So yeah, never be afraid to ask, because you never know. The worst thing that they can do is say no, right? And then you're no worse off than you were before. And the next thing is home is where you are the happiest. I know this is definitely true for me. I love being home. There's nowhere else I'd really rather be. And now that we got our pool set up outside, it's just a little pool, but you can see I even got some color in my face, and that's why Wyatt's sleeping, because we're actually outside for a while in the water, and it was great. Make your home a sanctuary and love it. The next one, this one is definitely true. Well, these are all true for me, but this one, you'd rather eat at home than take out. And when you do go out, you think that you could have made it just as good, or if not better, than what the restaurant made it. Most of the time. I would say about 80% of the time I'm like this. And then, or if it is super, super good, which it really has to be for me to make me even want to, or feel like I've not been ripped off. If I go out and the food was not very good and I could have made it better at home, I feel as though I've just been ripped off. So, but if it is really, really good, then I'm always thinking of how can I make this? How can I do this for cheaper? And the last but not least, you're always looking for alternative ways to do things. I mentioned this before in a whole other video, but you are creative and you're always thinking outside of the box on how can I do this so that I don't have to spend this much money. There's always a cheaper way, and not necessarily by being cheap, but there is always a way to do something for less than what most people would pay, if that makes sense. And that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did putting it together. And as always, I love and appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have a frugabulous day, everyone. Bye!